What's going on, everyone? So we're all still anxiously awaiting the news on where and how is Christian Koloko being signed, right? Rumor going around that it's going to be a two-way contract, that they're going to waive one of Colin Castleton, Armel Traore, or Blake Hinson, but we haven't gotten any real concrete news yet, right? Like, nothing has come to light, and you would think if they were going to bring him to a two-way, and if they were, like, if that was basically like, hey, two-way, we're going to waive somebody, give us a day or two, that information would be at least out, right? There's not even word that they are going that route yet. At least at the time of recording this video, depending on when you're watching it, maybe we have some information, maybe something has come on. I think, tinfoil hat on, boom, I think the Lakers are trying to pull off a trade right now. Now, does that mean that they will pull off a trade? No. But something that I've talked about heavily is as you get closer to training camp, which we are now like 2.5 weeks away from training camp, as you get closer to training camp, teams start going, we really don't want this guy or that guy in training camp and to start the season, right? Team like Portland. I know people sick of hearing about Jeremy Grant, see the comment stuff, but it's realistic. Right? I would love for them to go get Steph or something like that, but what's realistic? What's a move that the Lakers more likely than not will and can pull off? Jeremy Grant is one of those options. Hey, I'm all for a Zach LaVine. Go get a Zach LaVine deal, and then you don't even have to give up assets, right? Like, so my thought process is, again, if they were going to just, hey, we're just going to sign him to a two-way, wouldn't that at least already be announced? And then they're evaluating which guy do they want to get rid of? Sure. But that information, you'd imagine, would at least be out there. That information is not out there. Just that he's signed with the Lakers, that they have agreed to a deal. Well, I would imagine that the Lakers relayed, like, hey, we're trying to navigate this, but be patient. We're going to sign you one way or another. Also, even Raptors insiders have said they do not see Koloko signing to a two-way deal because of a lot of the same reasons that I was saying when the news before we even knew he was being signed, just that, the Lakers were the front runners. I do not see Koloko signing a two-way deal unless he just really wants to be a Laker, which could be a possibility. Maybe this is the place out of all the other places he wants to be, and he's looking at it as like, hey, I have to prove myself regardless. Right? I have to, kind of bet on myself. If I could pick anywhere to be, I'd rather be with the Lakers. Let me bet on myself with the Lakers. Fine, I'll sign a two-way deal. Because there's several teams that are interested in Koloko that would give him a roster spot. That's why even like Raptors insiders are like, wait a minute, like it doesn't make sense that he would sign a two-way deal. So the only way that you can pull off a deal to bring in Koloko is you have to move off of one of your players. So do you just salary dump a guy? Which, I like Koloko, but he's not worth trading essentially a second or two for. At that point, you might as well just wait and go get Valanciunas. Right? Like, so the only thing I could think of is Lakers are having conversations about a trade. And look, it wouldn't be the first time that Lakers out of left field pulled off a trade. I mean, the Rui Hachimura deal. I know it's kind of how I got my nickname Laker Damas, because I talked about Rui and then like 2 hours later it happened. But that was just like dumb luck, right? Like that was just me like surveying and going like, oh man, Rui's available. No one's really talking about him. Let me talk about him. That just kind of happened, right? It was just, I got lucky, right? But also you look at like even the Utah deal, right? Now the Utah deal was reported for like a year, like rumored for like a year. And then went flatline, didn't hear nothing, and then boom, got done, right? And you also got like D'Angelo Russell in the deal and all that stuff. So I could see something like a Portland move or whatever. Again, all this talk, all this hype, then it flatlines, getting closer to training camp, right? Portland's like, we have 12 centers and, Jeremy Grant, and do we really want Jeremy Grant taking minutes away from our young guys? Probably not. I could see the Lakers in Portland being in conversations right now. Why else take the time to sign Koloko? Because they're not signing him just to a training camp deal, right? Like, he has offers to be on rosters. Like, he's not going to sign a training camp deal knowing he can't be on. So Lakers promised he's going to be on the team one way or another, and he's going to get playing time. Now, look, if he signs for a two-way deal, which, again, is very possible. Again, maybe he's betting on himself. Maybe none of the other teams really were. They wanted him on a two-way. I don't know. But supposedly, teams were offering him an actual roster spot. Is he really going to take a two-way deal when he could have gotten a roster spot with, like, the Spurs or something like that? I don't know, right? Playing time also matters. Maybe the Lakers were like, hey, look, you can play 52 games, I believe it is, on a two-way, right? Well, guess what? Christian Wood might miss that many games. So we'll guarantee you, the 52 games this year. But then also, what happens if he's good, right? What happens if he's what we need him to be? I'm not saying he's going to be a star. I'm not saying he's going to be anything crazy. But what if in, 15 minutes a game, he's giving you, 5 and 5 with like 2 blocks, right? I mean, in 13 minutes a game, he gave you like 4 and 3. You add a couple more minutes, you add a more prominent role. You got LeBron James and D'Angelo Russell and guys like that can set him up better, right? I don't think it's far-fetched that he's a 5 and 5 guy, right? High energy, running the floor, right? Like, it's possible. But even then, like, people might look at it and go, well, 5-5 is nothing. Well, again, you got to look at the role and the need and what that has. Also, like, what does that mean for Jackson Hayes and Christian Wood? Because, okay, let's say you don't pull off a trade. Christian Wood's going to be back eventually, right? And Christian Wood, okay, you could argue he could be the 4, right? But here's the problem with that. Anthony Davis wants to spend more time at the 4. Anthony Davis doesn't want to be a full-time 5 anymore. So if you're going to play Anthony Davis even 15 minutes a game at the 4, you're probably still starting LeBron at the 4, AD at the 5, right? So it's a first 5 minutes is like that. And then say you take LeBron out, move AD to the 4, bring in Jackson Hayes or Koloko, right? Finish quarter that way. Maybe he goes out. Maybe you bring in Wood, right? Like, Wood at most is only probably going to get 10, maybe 15 minutes at the power forward position, right? Is that counting Rui play the 4 at times? Anthony Davis, let's say you play Anthony Davis. Say LeBron plays, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, right? So let's say 20 of those minutes are at the 4, right? And then if Anthony Davis plays another 15, 20 minutes at the 4, that only leaves you 8 to 13 minutes for the 4 spot. And now you have essentially 4 centers. Are you still trading for Valanciunas, which I think you need? Or not, even if it's not Valanciunas, one of these other centers, which I think you need. I mean, ideally, if you want to win a championship, it makes sense to get a veteran center, unless Koloko is that good for us, which, again, there's a lot of questions. I mean, the guy hasn't played in a year and a half, right? Like, something just isn't adding up right now. Right? Now, look, maybe the Lakers can't get a deal done. Maybe they do and are actively in conversations. Maybe they still can't get a move done, right? And nothing gets done, and they just bring Koloko in on a two-way and waive Henson or somebody like that, and which I wouldn't be a big fan of. I think if you're going to waive anybody, waive Colin Castleton. I like Colin Castleton a lot. I would be very disappointed that we never get to actually see what this guy can bring, but I just think Blake Henson gives you a guy that the Lakers have been searching for like years. And then on top of that, like, Armel Traore might be our best young talent on the roster. I know he's a little raw, know he needs development, but he's also, like 20 years old? Give him time, right? A couple years, 2-3 years of development. He's still younger than Koloko is, right? Like, right now. So, to me, I look at it as like, okay, maybe a two-way happens. Maybe Lakers can't get a deal done. But it just makes sense that the Lakers would at least doing their due diligence, right? You at least try to see, can you get something done? Because what if you unload a Christian Wood or you unload a Jackson Hayes in that deal? Then it makes sense to bring Koloko in, right? Now it makes more sense to have him at a roster spot, right? Even if you, let's say you do the Jeremy Grant deal, just using him as an example, right? Talking Gabe Vincent, Cam Reddish, and Rui Hachimura, right? Well, you're going to have a need for another roster spot. Okay, well, you could bring Koloko in. I'd also try to see if you could add one more, maybe add in a Christian Wood or Jackson Hayes and bring in a Jordan Goodwin also, which they're high on, and they like Jordan Goodwin. Yes, I know right now he's on a training camp deal, but that doesn't mean that he can't be converted to an actual main roster spot, right? So, I don't know, again, where are you getting playing? Like, Koloko's going to come in, even if he plays 52 games, right? Like, yeah, it's great, but, like, what does that mean for Jackson Hayes? Jackson Hayes is what, just not going to play? Like, when Christian Wood gets back, is Christian Wood just not going to play? Like, where do you get the minutes for everybody with 4 centers? Right? Like, is Koloko just insurance? Well, why would he want to do that when he could go to a team like San Antonio and probably play 15 minutes a game? Right? Or go to a team like Toronto and play 15 minutes a game. Or even just go sign with a team like the Pelicans. Like, the Pelicans could work something out, and just bring him on. He might even start and play 30 minutes a game. Right? Like, there's plenty of places that he could actually get a real opportunity with. So that's why I kind of feel like there's something brewing. There's something coming. I don't know, again, if that means it actually gets done. It's just a thought. But as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think that, makes sense, trade, something gets done? Do you think, nah, they're not going to do anything, right? They're just going to sign him to a two-way. He just wants to bet on himself, right? That's all it is. It's straightforward, simple, which could be, right? Sometimes the correct answer is the simple answer. But it's just why wouldn't if he was really going to sign a two-way, why wouldn't that have already been announced? Right? It still hasn't been announced. Again, at least at the time of recording this video, very possible that later today, or, if you're watching this the next day, maybe we already got that news. But you would imagine, usually when they sign a guy, within, the hour, you hear that, he signed to a training camp deal, or he signed to a two-way deal. I mean, it's been over 24 hours, and we still don't have news what it is. So, just my thoughts. But, again, how you feel, whatever your thoughts are, let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.